The Sporting Dragon is roaring again in Wales. The rugby union team's eyeing the Grand Slam. Colin Jackson's just completed a golden European double. He's the best high hurdler of all time. There's Ryan Giggs, still just 20, with the world at his feet. He's the hottest young property in the game. And in Steve Robinson, Wales boast their first world boxing champion since Howard Winston back in the 60s.
Hello, good evening to all. Steve Robinson has thousands of Welsh fans roaring him on at ringside here at the National Ice Rink Bang in Cardiff City Centre. He might well need their support as well as he makes the third defence of his title. He goes in against Paul Hodkinson, former world champion, and a really good fighter. The bookmakers have Hodkinson as an uneasy odds-on favourite, but they know that Robinson has a habit of upsetting all the pundits.
It's Hoko's big fight experience and the company he's mixed in that makes the 28-year-old challenger the favourite. He's had a dozen title fights and been in with 4 world champions. His tendency to damage round the eyes costs him the world crown against the Mexican Villasana. The Scouser way ahead on points, but with both eyes shut, Hodkinson saved from further punishment in the 8th. November 91, Belfast, the rematch. Hodkinson in the mood to set the record straight. And this time, Hodkinson wins by a landslide points decision. It's Villasana who's on the receiving end of a pounding. Hodkinson, the WBC featherweight champion. And now Hodkinson looks set to dominate the 9-stone division. He dispatches 2 challengers, Texan Steve Cruz and Frenchman Fabrice Benichou. The Puerto Rican Ricardo Cepeda, he goes in 4. Hodkinson's transatlantic reputation is growing. Then, last April in Dublin, he takes on Mexican Goyo Vargas. For 6 rounds, it goes okay. All 3 judges have Hodkinson ahead. Then, in the 7th, the fight, and his career spins off the rails. Hodkinson is taken apart. He hasn't fought since. April 93, enter the Cinderella man Steve Robinson. He's given 48 hours notice to face the champion John Davison. Another late job on hostile territory.
The gunshots come flying out as well.
Serious trouble, Reg. Davison in serious trouble, Reg.
The winner and the new WBO featherweight champion of the world is Robinson, ladies and gentlemen.
Robinson gets the verdict, James.
Now the world champion comes back home to Cardiff for his first offence against the tough British champion Shaun Murphy. Murphy, though, can't handle the new Robinson.
Robinson teeing off on him now. When Robinson backs him up, he really takes charge. Nothing seems hurt yet.
Ducked below the waistline there, which is actually clouding the rules a bit. I don't think that we can hear the count. You may be able to hear it at home, but we certainly can't in this game. And he's counted him out in the act of rising in the 9th round.
And next is Colin Macmillan, the Londoner, a supremely gifted former world champion. Macmillan very much the bookie's favourite. Steve Robinson does his stuff. Macmillan is never at the races.
I'm going with Robinson.
Yeah,
a more solid choice, a more workmanlike performance from Robinson.
And now Steve Robinson takes on another former world champion in Paul Hodkinson. Will he upset the pundits again?
Well, that's the big question. I go for Hodkinson. It won't make me too popular in these parts. Barry McGuigan, what are your thoughts?
I'm afraid I agree with you. I've done this before and Robinson's proven me wrong, but I feel on this occasion Hodkinson brings more ability to the table. He's got better lateral movement, a better all-round fighter, and I think that, Robinson is a strong and fit and durable guy and tremendous tenacity. but he just hasn't got enough tools to beat Hodkinson.
I think we said the same about Colin McMillan, who hadn't fought for a while.
That's true.
Robinson proved us wrong. Could he do it again tonight?
He could very well prove us wrong tonight, and it all depends, of course, if Hodkinson has got over the Varga defeat. I think he has. We'll wait till the first round bell rings and then we'll find out for sure. But I'm going for Hodkinson late stoppage, maybe 10 rounds.
Really? You think he'll stop him?
I think he can do that. I think these clash of styles mean that someone has to give up. It'll be fought at a tremendous pace, and I'm going for Hodkinson.
But just finally, Barry, this crowd here really getting warmed up. They're worth a bit to Robinson.
Very much worth a tremendous start to him, and the atmosphere here is tremendous. And I think this guy's got a great chance, but I'm definitely going to go for Hodkinson.
Thanks, Barry. It's a bit of a bear pit in here at the moment, and in the middle of it all, at ringside, we got Gary Newborn. Gary.
With me, two boxing personalities who have a lot of interest in the outcome in tonight's fight. The British champion, Duke McKenzie, who meets the winner on May the 14th, and Barn Eastwood, the manager, Paul Hodkinson. Now, a lot is being made of whether Paul has really got everything left after that terrible hiding from Vargas. What is the situation?
Well, it's very difficult to say how a fighter is going to go back from a bad loss like that. But Paul has trained very hard, and his mental attitude seems to be very, very good. He seems in a very positive mood tonight. I feel that he'll do very well.
Okay, who obviously Barney thinks he's going to win. Who do you want to win, and who do you think will win?
I think that Paul will win the fight. There's no substitute for class, for like world class. Gary, and he's been like groomed from world class from like day one.
And who do you want to win?
I want Paul to win.
Why?
Because it'll be a bigger scalp for me when I beat him.
Okay, well, long way to go yet. Thank you.
Well, no substitute for class, says Duke McKenzie. It really is warming up here. I tell you, I'm sure we're in for a terrific battle. A lot of the Paul Hodkinson fans have just come in. They've come down from Merseyside to support their guy. There they are. Big Liverpool fan, of course, is Hoko. Will he come back successfully after nearly a year? Will he become a world champion once again? What will Steve Robinson provide? We're back with all the action very shortly.
Welcome back to the big fight live, coming to you from the National Ice Rink in the middle of Cardiff, and very shortly we're going to be turning up the temperature here. We await the arrival of the former world champion Paul Hoko Hodkinson, a tremendous fighter, and all of a sudden there are question marks about him. As you might expect, a pretty hostile reception for Hoko. Just scratched side of the top of his head, I think, tucked away in there. There he is, he's got a fair old battle to get to the ring. But he's been relaxed and confident all day the other way, and it's something like 7 o'clock this morning. He was bright-eyed and sharp then. And here he is, the challenger. And there's the message. He's back, and there'll be lots of people, Liverpool fans, and I would think 1 or 2 Evertonians as well, who'll be cheering this guy on. He has had a dreadful year. He's coming back from a shattering defeat. How will it affect him? What's he got left? What about those eyes? And what about the Cinderella man, the champion, Steve Robinson? He is a hugely popular figure, largely because the world title hasn't changed him one jot. And since winning that belt, he has developed superbly. He says he's on the way up and Hodkinson on the way down. But he knows he's in for the toughest fight of his career. A hardened professional, the champion, Steve Robinson. And a terrific big fight atmosphere here in the middle of Cardiff, poised for the ring announcements. is Mike Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please be upstanding for the national anthem? Singing of the anthem for Wales, Mr. Trevor Thomas.
Just look at the determination in Steve Robinson's face during that anthem. It's big fight time. Your commentators, as always, are Jim Watt. And first of all, a very good evening to Reg Guttridge.
Well, if you can hear us through this, Jim, I was wondering whether we didn't have a walk alone for this fellow. I think he was entitled to his share of that after the national anthem. And, of course, the wheel, as they call it in Wales, was tremendous for this fellow here, Robinson. And what great close-ups they were, the concentration, or the focusing, as they call it now in America.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National Ice Rink in the Welsh capital of Cardiff. The officials appointed for this contest by the World Boxing Organisation are the supervisor in charge, Mr. Nick Cariotis of Illinois, USA, the British Boxing Board of Control Supervisor, Mr. John Morris of London, the steward in charge of this evening, Lord Brooks of Tremolva and Mr. Cliff Curvis. The judges at ringside are Mr. Aaron Kaiser of Arizona, Mr. Thomas Vasquez of Puerto Rico, and Mr. Paul Thomas of Derby. The referee in charge of tonight's action, Mr. Dave Harris of London. The timekeeper, Mr. Ivor Campbell. And our matchmaker this evening, Mr. Ernie Fossey of London. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, Saturday night is Big Fight Night, live on ITV. This is the main event of the evening, sponsored by Cardiff Bay Development Corporation and promoted by Frank Warren for Sports Network in association with BJ Eastwood for Eastwood Promotions and Guy Gardner, who proudly present a contest of 12 3-minute rounds to decide the WBO Featherweight Championship of the world. Between, in the blue corner, wearing the red trunks and silver trim, the challenger from Liverpool, a former aviator, featherweight champion, whose professional record from 25 contests, 22 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 21 wins coming by way of KO, the former undefeated British and European featherweight champion, the former WBC featherweight champion of the world, Paul Hodkinson. And in the red corner, wearing the red and white trunks from Cardiff, with a professional record from his 26 contests of 16 wins, 9 losses and 1 draw, 8 wins coming by way of KO, the former undefeated Intercontinental champion and undefeated featherweight champion of Wales, making his 3rd defence of the title tonight, the WBO featherweight champion of the world, Steve Robinson. At the weigh-in at 7 a.m. this morning, Hodkinson scaled exactly 9 stone, Robinson 8 stone, 13 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, the WBO Featherweight Championship of the World.
Well, that's it, all the trimmings over it. Certainly generated a great deal of emotion and atmosphere here. Well, there's only the Welsh can in their hometowns like this. Bit of Cockney chat actually from Dave Parris, one-time light heavyweight from London. And this is, well, one of the most improved fighters, I think, in any division, Steve Robinson, since he captured that vacant World Championship, the WBO, against John Davison. Now, is he going to make the comeback now? A year ago, we would have said he was probably the best equipped all-round fighter in the country, Paul Hodkinson, and the bookmakers are sticking with him. Well, when the first bell goes, you know, whether hometown advantage or not counts, we don't know. It becomes, as they say, the loneliest place in the world. And the final instructions there from Hodkinson's corner there, the manager Barney's was saying, get out and roll with the punches, don't stand up straight. And he can be devastating at times, Hodkinson. But whether that's left a little scar at all, maybe in his confidence, who knows? The defeat by Gregorio Vargas, who was subsequently defeated for the championship by Kevin Kelly the man. They're warming up for the rugby next week with the singing here, Jim. It's not a bad start, this, is it?
It's a good start, Rez. You have to remember that as an opponent, Hodkinson will suit Robinson because he won't have to go looking for him. Hodkinson's a pressure fighter who has to come forward to be effective. Steve Robinson boxes from a very tight defence and it suits him to have a man coming forward there. I would say Hodkinson is the best that Robinson has ever faced. Doesn't go the other way round. Hodkinson has faced better. But a year out of the ring, Reggie, coming back to this type of fight, this type of atmosphere, you're asking a lot of Paul Hodkinson. Robinson getting home with the jab straight away. If Hodkinson can't slip those jabs, he's going to be in trouble.
We don't want to start raising that damage around the face now, Hodkinson, but well, like all the old good scousers in the ring, they can fight their way through those pain barriers and have proved it in the past, and certainly Hodkinson has.
The heads have banged together already. A little bit alarming for Hodkinson that Robinson's got home with so many jabs already.
Just a reminder with this WBO version of the championship, any one boxer goes down 3 times in one round, it's automatically over. Tucks himself up well, actually, champion Robinson. I see that, he keeps his hands up, a little bit peekaboo. He's expecting the hooks from nickname Hoko. And he's got to try and book them. Smart boxer, he's learned it the hard way. The real Cinderella man in the ring, he turned out. good enough start there, wasn't it, for a World Championship? The 9-stone division. And there's the rundown then. That's Di Gardner now to the park promoter. And Ronnie Rush, former boxer, on the outside of the ring. So he's with the old firm here. One-time warehouseman getting, well, practically nothing a week, really, when you consider what he's getting now as a boxer. It's the old land that I often put out about the proof from near poverty to plenty. And there's Hodkinson, surrounded by the Belfast team there. I say Belfast, Bernardo Checo, originally from Panama, is the leading trainer in the Belfast camp of Barney Eastwood.
Pause 10 seconds.
Pops in the gum shield, only allowed touching above the waist in boxing. Introduced incidentally by the great Ted Pidler, right back in the late 19s, during the end of the First World War, actually. And now it's obligatory to have a gum shield. Good start this, gentlemen. Some good boxing here.
That's an excellent start. Robinson, very tight defence in the first round. Hodkinson didn't get through with too much. But the champion came out with some good jobs. See, the champion's punches are landing bang on clean. Hodkinson is too easy to hit in the first couple of rounds here. We also have to remember Robinson is a big heavyweight. Hodkinson is not. So Hodkinson can't afford to take these shots. It has to slip, duck and bob and weave.
Can't afford to fight with his face here, Hodkinson.
He's having trouble with Robinson's jab, Reg. He's not moving his head as much as he should be.
So determined, isn't he, Hodkinson? That's his style. He's shown that right back from his amateur days. Walked in a straight line a bit, which is why they've been begging him in the corner, roll in. It's going to be a good championship like this, isn't it?
Well, it's going to be a cracker. Hodkinson is never in a bad fight. And he's a perfect opponent for Robinson. He doesn't like them looking for opponents. So he can't ask for any better than Paul Hodkinson. He's always there right in front of you.
Remember, Jim, that Steve Robinson admittedly hasn't quite fought into this class. Has never been stopped. He's had losses on his record, particularly in the early part of his career when he was more or less the sort of journeyman fighter, but he jumped right out of that to become champion, and he's proved his durability.
Another interesting point is the fact that Robinson is growing in confidence over the last year, whereas Hodkinson has suffered a bad defeat in a year out of the ring. It's not ideal preparation, and I don't think Hodkinson is as sharp as he's got to be in the first couple of rounds here. He's taken too many. He's probably throwing more punches than Robinson, but having trouble getting through Robinson's defences.
Oh, he hooked him well there, though, Hodkinson. He doubled up that left hook as well.
Hodkinson's slipping the jab a bit better now. That's what he has to do. Yeah, he's slipping outside, inside.
So coming back then to round 3. Really buzzing atmosphere here. Just towards the end of that round there, Tomot knows just what he really Hodkinson realised that he can't hold his head still, as though he was sort of craning, looking over a fence and taking those left-hand jabs. And they're very effective by Robinson. Sorry, mate, there's a nice sporting touch, yeah.
Well, that's the second clash we've had. Nothing intentional, but Hodkinson has to watch that. So Hodkinson throwing more punches than Robinson, but he's not getting through the defences, and Robinson's jab is giving him some problems.
seems remarkable, Jim, and you've been through that. I mean, when you win a championship, does it really give you that immense confidence and a bit at the ability too? I would think, if we're judging what happened to Robinson.
Yeah, well, you never know you can be world champion until you actually do it. Then obviously your confidence has to grow. You reckon you're the best. I know these days we've got 4 world champions, and maybe Robinson, Steve, is maybe the lesser of the 4. Nevertheless, he's a world champion, and he's got the pride that comes with it. He's defended it successfully, so what more can you ask?
Exactly, he's become a bit of a Welsh hero too.
We do have to remember, Regs, that although he's been in 3 world championship fights, they've all been against British fighters. I mean, years ago he probably British champion, but he's WBO champion, and he's in with a world-class performer tonight and doing well. Hodkinson's own defences are a little bit loose. That's his big problem. Robinson very tight, but Hodkinson wide open.
So I'm wondering now if the fight goes along with Hodkinson to sort of fight himself into condition a bit more, start getting his timing a bit better, just over 11 months out the ring. Although he's certainly taking some punishment there. He's shipping a bit.
I feel he's made the same mistake as Colin McMillan, Reg. You shouldn't come straight back after a bad loss, especially into a world championship fight after 11 months. It's not the ideal preparation. Well, he's certainly brightened up his act now, Hodkinson. He's looking a bit more positive, getting round behind the elbow.
He knows how to dishearten fighters a bit too, with that punch in the short rib with the left hook there.
Hodkinson looking good now, Reg.
Round 4. It really has developed into a cracker of a championship. It's already been good for 3 rounds, and we're going to get the rest of the fight like this. So we got Barry McGuigan at ringside, and there it is with his unofficial card. Opening 2 rounds to Robinson, and he's given Hodkinson the 3rd. You agree with that, Jim?
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought Robinson, beautiful defence, lovely jabbing in the first couple of rounds. But finally in the 3rd round, Hodkinson managed to get through with some shots. Got on top a little bit. So Hodkinson is now beginning to slip the jab a bit better than he was in the first 2 rounds. He's maybe warming up to his task. Remember, Steve Robinson does not really like working at this kind of pace. He's never done it in any of his previous world title fights. He likes to keep the pace nice and steady.
He picked up the pace against John Davison, if you remember, an old amateur opponent of Hodkinson's, winning a loss against him.
In a lot of the rounds against Davison, he did very little the first minute and a half of the round, and then come back in the second half. He likes to do that. He likes to pace himself every round, finish strongly, try to just nick it. But Hodkinson likes to work all the time, and he's forcing him to do that.
They're both claiming the centre of the ring here now, trying to be the governor, as they say in the fight trade. What a cracker it is. They're not looking to clinch.
This is certainly the toughest one Robinson's been in, Reg.
All stiff punches, Jim, too, aren't they?
Yeah, good quality punches. But Hodkinson's shown that he has his appetite back, Reg.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, he just might find himself into the timing and the, as you say, the appetite's a good word for it, James. He enjoys it. He likes the money, of course. Who doesn't?
He's throwing more
and he
punches than
deserves
Robinson, but it's not to say he's landing more. This is a fairly even round. I find it difficult to split them in this round.
It's relentless, this fight. For round 5. And I tell you, I don't know how this is going to finish. Can it get any better? I doubt it, because it's good enough. I just hope it keeps up now. What an entertaining world championship this is. Close round the last round, I thought, Jim.
Yeah, I couldn't separate them in the previous round. But Hodkinson, he's the one who's shown the improvement after the first 2 rounds. And he likes this type of pace more than Robinson does. He likes to slow things down, fight in spots when he decides the time's right. Hodkinson, he likes to keep the pace all the way.
See Robinson there, tucks his arms in. Watch this, you see those strong biceps he's got there. Lets the punches whack into them when he can. Can't dodge them all.
It would be a good plan for Robinson if he could back Hodkinson up. Not an easy thing to do.
Oh, he's unloading now, Robinson, to the body. He's trying to fight Hodkinson's kind of fight too.
Well, if you can back Hodkinson up the edge, you take a lot away from him. He likes to come forward, rolling, bobbing, weaving, setting the pace.
From a fellow that's come right through the sort of lower ranks here, Steve Robinson, he's turned into a good old pro, isn't he?
Yeah, real good solid pro. This is good stuff from Robinson. Oh, he's got in trouble, Reg. Hodkinson wants to get those hands up.
It's going to be almost unbelievable, I think, if he can stop Hodkinson as early as this in the fight, Steve Robinson. The crowd know it. I'm not sure Robinson's convinced. I should say Hodkinson's convinced. Fights like this, remember, with Marcos Villasano, the Mexican Hodkinson. Beautifully conditioned, Steve Robinson. He took a week out in Trinidad to get himself in good shape out there, then came back. He missed his home training. What a battle! Going to be the survival of the fittest and the bravest, Jim.
Yeah, this is a cracker. This is as good a world title fight as we've seen in quite some time. Robinson now trying to use his strength a bit more. He's pushing Hodkinson back. This is what he must do.
It's almost a relief to hear the bell there. You know the fighter is going to need a bit of a breather, and the crowd are loving it. A little bit of bruising, it looked like there. Robinson trying to push it away the corner. And should Hodkinson suffer any cuts, they brought in the company cutman Ernie Fossey to take care of him. Jim Henry has...
That was a tremendous burst of action, and the best burst of action in the fight came in that round, it came from Robinson.
Great close-up pictures too in that replay. And from the overhead shot, the Rocky pictures.
See, once again, Hodkinson can buy good left hook, but he's finding it difficult to pin Robinson down. Normally, he's got a good tight defence.
Seconds out, round 6.
Round 6. The WBO version of the World Featherweight Championship, 9 stone. The featherweight sounds as though they're not punching very hard. Trust me, they are. And there's the scorecard again. Now it's got Robinson a couple of points up there. Brad McGuigan, unofficial, of course. If it does go 12, we go to British referee Paul Thomas Vasquez of Puerto Rico, Aaron Kaza of Arizona. Referee doesn't vote. It's a throwback, old class bang-up, Jim, isn't it, this?
Yeah, this is first class. I like the way Robinson does everything from a tight, sound defence, doesn't take chances. Hodkinson a little bit more reckless, a bit more open. And that's why he's getting caught with all these punches, no defence. This is good stuff from Robinson.
He won the championship, he treated himself to another newer second-hand car, Robinson. Well, if he pulls to this one, well, I'd like to see, he's worth a roller, isn't he? Talking about doing it the hard way, certainly done that, Steve Robinson, although he got his chance as a substitute when he fought Don Davidson.
This is a tremendous battle, Reg.
Midway through the 6th round. He's tucking his trunks up there, didn't he, Hodkinson, when he backs on, as if to say, what have I got here tonight? They didn't tell me this fellow was as hard as this. On the other hand, he's too much of a pro to think that was going to be an easy one. All the late money, or what they might call smart money, came for Hodkinson, but I'm not sure at this stage with Robinson looking at, well, maybe 2 round up anyway.
See, Hodkinson never does anything without a reply from Robinson. Anytime Hodkinson mounts a good attack, Robinson's coming back with something. And you can see his punches landing more cleanly because of Hodkinson's lack of defence.
His ground so well, Robinson, too. He took those punches there without flinching and returned the fire.
What a battle this is.
It's breathless, isn't it? I think we're going to carry a new bomb with Duke McKenzie for the world champion.
Well, Duke, it seems that Paul has lost a lot.
You know, Gary, he doesn't look the fighter that he was like 2 fights ago. Steve's doing everything right, he's just backing him up. You know, there's a saying that if you want to win money on a fight, just ask me who's going to win and bet on the other guy, you know, because I'm terrible at picking winners. But like I say, Paul just looks totally out of it.
Can you see Hodkinson getting back into this fight the way he's going at the moment?
You know, he needs to hit Steve and really hurt him. You know, stamp his authority. From the word go, he's not been able to do that. Get back Stevie up and just really stick one on him. He's not done it.
Has everybody underestimated Robinson, do you think?
Everyone except me.
Why?
Because, you know, like I say, if you want to win money on a fight, just ask me who's going to win. And you'll win the money, you just bet on the other guy.
But at the moment, it looks as if it's really going Robinson's way.
So Paul will be lucky to come out for the 9th round at this stage.
For 7th. Well, there you are. Honest chat there from Duke McKenzie. It was did say jockeys are not always the best judges.
I think Hodkinson will be wishing he had 1, maybe 2 warm-up fights before he took this fight at the edge. It's too tough a fight to come back for after 11 months out.
There it is, 3 rounds up now. Jimmy's made Robinson. And you?
Yep, the same, because everything that Robinson does, he does from a tight defence. Hodkinson's thrown a lot of punches, but they're not getting home cleanly. When the champion comes back, you can see everything getting bang onto the target. Just as I'm saying that, it's happening.
Showing a few scars of battle there now. Hodkinson in the face, swelling again around the eyes. That's par for the course for him, though.
See, you've never seen Hodkinson mount a big attack without the champion coming back with something. Robinson always comes back.
Yeah, exactly.
He's landing good, clean shots, and he's catching a lot of Hodkinson's punches.
His arms are always in position, and they sort of go in a piston-like style, don't they, Robinson's punches?
See, there he is, nice and tight again from the defence. He catches the attack, then comes back with the counters. Lovely boxing from Steve Robinson.
Oh, look at that one, travelled a long way, and Hodkinson got the message as well.
See, if Hodkinson was as sharp as he should be at the edge, those punches wouldn't be landing. It's the fact that he's taken so many clean punches that you can see that he's not sharp enough for this job tonight. He wanted a couple of warm-up fights. It's not just a case about getting the body in condition, you have to get sharp.
Standing there, posing there, cleverly there, Robinson saying, OK, what's your next move? I'm waiting for the counters. That's slightly the longer reach too, Robinson, which is used effectively.
Hodkinson, a complete lack of defence, Reg, really.
See, just smothering it cleverly there, the Welshman. Although the referee had a word with him, don't hold. And what a good finish to this round. Here's Gary going, this time Gary with Barry.
Barry, you've got Robinson romping away with this fight.
Yeah, I'm really shocked that one defeat against Varga has made him a completely different fighter, Hodkinson. 30% down on the fighter that he used to be. I'm shocked. Robinson has proved me wrong again, it would appear. He's way ahead and winning this fight. And every time he hits, Hodkinson shakes him to the floor. And has turned out to be the stronger puncher of the two. An incredible performance by this guy, and then walking away with this fight.
I mean, we've got to give Robinson a lot of credit as well. This boxer is really developing.
Yes, much better than I have originally thought, and he's getting better with each one. This is a superb performance, pressure and tactics that are perfect.
Will it go the distance?
I don't think so. Hodkinson looks very shaky.
Seconds out, round 8.
Well, around 8 then, and look at determination, maybe a little bit of worry as well there for Paul Hodkinson as he came at that corner. But I tell you what, he's got the biggest heart in the business. It's such clever tactical stuff by Steve Robinson, isn't it?
But this is what he does, Reg. This is his normal. He hasn't changed his style to suit Hodkinson. He does everything from a tight defence, economical but accurate with his punches. Hodkinson's throwing a lot of punches, but they're being blocked or they're missing. And he is offering too much target to the champion.
Tell you what, Terry Venables wouldn't mind a bloke in the back four like this in defence who can break out as quick as he can.
So Hodkinson hasn't really had one big round so far, and he badly needs one.
Mind you, I don't think Venables is going to pick a Welshman in his team somehow.
The way things are going, Reg, Hodkinson can only hope that Robinson is going to run out of steam, but he's never done that before. Quite the opposite, he comes on strong in fights.
Now, as I said earlier, Jim, he's never been stopped. 26 fights. He only had 8 stoppages or countouts himself from his 16 wins, actually. Those losses, and a few of those were, I must say, very doubtful, I thought, when he was a preliminary fighter. He was robbed, I thought, a couple of times in London fights, Robinson. There he goes, pumping those punches out again. It's the champion. There it is. Not always connecting. Minute to go in the 8th round.
See Robinson doing again what he does. Very little work in the first minute. Comes back in the last minute.
If he sustained that attack, Jim, he must have a good chance now of stopping Hodkinson.
See, he's very smart the way he goes.
Look at that, there it is.
He's shaking him.
The right hand right on the button, as I said that. He's just fighting from instinct and game this now, Hodkinson. Brilliant stuff from the champion. Straight punches. Enough time in the round. 8th round. Oh, he's fighting back there. What a gutsy fight back by the ex-world champion. Seconds waiting a dive in the ring there in Hodkinson's corner.
I tell you, Reg, this is taking a lot out of Hodkinson. Even if he survives a round, it's taking an awful lot out of him.
Well, I said the Bernardo check dive in the ring, get that man back in the corner there. We need to price packs on him as well. Bruising and swelling around Hodkinson's face. Jim, that was that right hand.
That took everything, and then the punches he took from that, he really did well to keep his feet there. Robinson poured on the punches there, but just couldn't get him over. But I tell you, Reg, it's difficult in a fight that's going away from you to come back from a round like that. If you're on top and you have a round like that, you can come back from it, but not when things are going wrong to begin with. That has taken a lot out of Paul Hodkinson.
Now, what kind of words can you say to a fighter like that? Defend yourself a bit now. Try and take the play away if you can. This is where they sort the men for the boys, isn't it? They have to dig out from the trenches, these fellas now. Certainly in Hodkinson's case. 9th round. There it is, got a clear lead there. 5 rounds by McGuigan. Jim, you go along with that?
Yeah, a big lead for the champion, Reg, because he's been doing everything right. His own work is so accurate, punches so clean. Here he goes again.
He's starting early in the round too. If he can keep this up, Robinson, can he stop Hodkinson? What a gutsy show nonetheless by the ex-champ.
But Hodkinson's punches don't have any snap, Reg. That last round has taken a lot out of him, and this is knocking even more out of him. His strength is leaving him. And we're seeing real courage here from Hodkinson.
Yeah, he wants to go out with his shield. I tell you that, the professional pride of trying to finish on his feet.
Well, Reg, they keep talking about fight of the year. This could well be it already. Steve-O instead of Hoko. They're both trying to steal a little breather here, I think. Little wonder.
Yeah, like a couple of armies trying to take a bit of a rest before they go back into the battle again. It's a tremendous pace to keep up, Jim, isn't it?
Unbelievable. But again, Reg, when the round finishes, you remember what the champion did. He produced the better work again.
Now, has he ridden that storm or not, Jim? Maybe one punch again from Robinson and Hodkinson will turn it all around again.
Well, it shows you the condition Hodkinson must be in. He's not maybe as sharp as he would like to be, but he certainly is in good condition. He could be in better. To come back from that, really, it takes a bit of doing. See, Hodkinson has never shaken Robinson with a punch, and that's the problem. He needs a punch to shake this fellow, and he just doesn't seem to have it.
And as I've said repeatedly now, he's absorbed such a good punch, Robinson. Had a good look at him too, didn't you, Robinson, there, the opponent. I'd have to say, I think I've got you, mate. Great confidence. And the crowd obviously loving it. Talk about the man that came from nowhere here, Stevie Robinson. He really has done well. Hot work too for this heavyweight referee, isn't it? He's had to stay on his toes with the featherweights, Dave Paris. And a quick look at both of them there. So the songs have already started. There it is now, that close-up in replay, Jim.
Well, unbelievable action again, and the punches that Hodkinson took and managed to come back and actually finish the round strongly. Unbelievable condition he must be in.
Round 10. Talk about red badges of courage, Jim. We're going to get it here, aren't you? And particularly with Hodkinson, who's been mostly on the receiving end.
Robinson has never been troubled by anything that Hodkinson has done tonight. Hodkinson's been badly shaken several times, but the champion always under control with that tight defence.
And the face gives nothing away, Jim, either, Robinson.
Look at that perfect jab, bang on in the middle of his face. Hodkinson has been caught far too easily right from the first bell.
Won't be denied though, Jim. Look at him, he's really battling away, Hodkinson. Saving himself again, as you said earlier on, for probably the second half of this round now, Robinson.
I've noticed Robinson doing that in most of these fights. He does not too much in the first minute and a half, then finishes strongly and usually ends up winning the round because of it.
Yeah, that disheartens the opposition too, doesn't it? When you think you may be doing okay for the first minute, and then he comes back, as he is now by the look of it. He's trying to prop Hodkinson up, yeah. There it is. I'm amazed he's not spinning off the ropes there, Hodkinson. Maybe his feet get rooted to the canvas a bit when he's taking those shots.
Definitely the best fight I've seen for a long time, Reg. This is unbelievable.
Oh, this is a hard fight, this.
Unbelievable.
It's grueling now.
Yeah, again, no defence from Hodkinson. No, it's completely loose.
Yeah, he's losing it. He's losing it now, Jim. I think the referee will dive in here if this keeps up.
Well, Reggie, he was looking at the punches and slipping it out and inside them. I tell you, he has a far better chin than I ever thought, because these are bang on target.
Turn southpaw, Hodkinson. Oh dear, well, look at this. Just
that was a perfect right hand, Reg, from Hodkinson. It didn't shake him.
Just as I thought Hodkinson was going to wilt there, Jim. He comes back. What heart.
But that's the bad news, Reg, because he landed his best right hand, bang on the chin, not even shaken.
I think we may be taking some credit away from Robinson, Jim, by saying that Hodkinson's gone back.
But Hodkinson's putting up a great battle here. He's maybe not as sharp as he should be as far as making punches, miss is concerned. But this is a great performance, and Robinson is the better man.
That was some round, wasn't it? Game gets harder too, Jim. Now, when you're sitting in the corner like that, what sort of thought goes through a fighter's mind now?
Well, I think he must know he needs a knockout, Reg, because look, you see here, the trouble with Hodkinson, he's never had any defence. He's not been sharp enough to slip the punches as he normally was. And having no defence, he's really made it, and he's not an easy job, but a simple job, if you like, for the champion, because no problem getting his punches home, and he's kept on top all the way through. And Robinson, as we said right at the start, he's the bigger and the stronger featherweight of the two. And he's now beginning to make that pay.
And he does that weight quite naturally, I told Guy Gardner was telling me he doesn't have any problem with him. He's always in marvellous condition. Good family man.
Round 11.
Round 11. WBO Featherweight Championship of the World. And if you have joined us late, no knockdowns. And the defending champion, Steve Robinson of Cardiff. Well, Barry McGuigan, Jim Mott, myself have certainly got him ahead of Paul Hodkinson, the former world champion from Liverpool. So Steve-O, as the crowd have been calling out, is on top of Coco from Liverpool. What a great battle, it really is.
I tell you, Hodkinson has tried everything tonight, Reg, and nothing has worked.
Yeah, well, as you see, they don't have to car now. Barry's got him a mile in front. Well, we'll see if he goes 12 now. If the judges have it closer, I doubt it. Reminder, Paul Thomas from the Midlands is a judge. Thomas Valsquez, Puerto Rico. Aidan Kaiser from Arizona. Supervisor from Chicago, former member of the player for the Chicago Bears, Nick Ferrari. He tots up the scores at the end, although of course they are handed to him after each round by the referee.
So Hodkinson just can't get in top even for a couple of seconds. No matter what he comes out with, Robinson comes back with something else.
Certainly the Hodkinson camp have backed their man quite heavily, we hear from Ireland. It's obviously some underestimating Steve Robinson, we suspect, but because he'd only fought British champions in title fights.
Well, he can call himself a true world champion now, Reg, because Hodkinson's been in with everybody. And he is soundly beating him.
It's amazing, Jamal Hodkinson's hung in there, really, isn't it?
Well, 3 times, Reg, I expected him to be over. I thought it was all over for him, and he's fought himself back into it again. Amazing.
I think the sponsors will be quite happy with the value they've got for this now, the Cardiff Bay Development Company.
See, again, Hodkinson getting caught cleanly with no defence.
Coming up to the end of the 11th, and the usual good finish by Robinson. It's almost though he's carrying a stopwatch on his wrist there, doesn't it? The referee's sort of almost being kind to him. He's an ex-boxer, he knows what they're going through there. So 3 minutes to go now. Well, as you can see, there's bruised up very heavily, isn't he, Hodkinson? Been through that before. Actually, he soon gets the swelling down, believe it or not, but it's a bit of a sorry sight, I must say. This man, well, his defence has been so good to him, there's hardly a mark on him, is there?
Yeah, he's boxed so well, Reg. He's hardly put a foot wrong the whole 11 rounds we've looked at. Perfect performance, tight defence, coming back every time he was attacked, come back with good counters. World-class performance.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Now, is there any chance at all now that Hodkins could turn it around in the final 3 minutes? It looks very doubtful. But I'll tell you what, in this game, one punch can cancel out a lot of arrears. Great applause from the crowd, hopefully for both boxers, but obviously it's for their own man in Wales, and understandably. Gritting his teeth there, Hodkinson, just hoping that something can happen for him.
I mean, you've got to give Hodkinson every bit of credit in the world, Reg. It hasn't been working for him, but he's never give up trying. He's tried everything he knows and never stopped trying. But he's never been able to make Robinson miss. He's been taking far too many punches, no defence. And he's boxing a man who's the best night of his life and the best performance of his life. taken.
Oh, he's done him in the last round. Punches on the chin there and sheer exhaustion. I'd like to see the referee stop it here. No, he's giving him the privilege of going on, or does he need that? He's going to stop it now. It's all over. What a sad sight that is for Paul Hodkinson. Great win for Steve Robinson. He's just completely out of gas. And they've got to leave him on the canvas there, let the doctor have a look at him. Don't touch him, the doctor's saying to Paul Hodkinson. And obviously, well, he doesn't realise what's going on yet, Steve Robinson. He's sure to go over to the opponent when he realises what's happened.
I think it's just a precaution they've got Hodkinson lying down.
Oh yeah, they have to do that.
He seems to have his senses about him all right, but a precaution. He took a few punches more than probably needed to take, so they'll just keep him lying down until he feels strong enough and healthy. Here he comes. You see, he wants up himself, and they're trying to tell him he's just sit on the floor, just wait until he's fully recovered. But what a tremendous performance from the champion Steve Robinson. Unbelievable. Didn't put a foot wrong. Excellent, world-class performance.
I don't know what the odds were for Steve Robinson to stop Hodkinson, but I should imagine they were quite lengthy.
Well, we're always asking an awful lot of Hodkinson to come back after 11 months against a good solid pro. And here, once again in the last round, he tries everything he knows, but no. Bang, caught cleanly in the chin once again with no defence. And Robinson pours it on, bang, lovely left hook, sends him over.
He was so accurate with those punches.
You couldn't have blamed Hodkinson for sipping it out right then and there.
Yeah,
Nothing left to offer.
I'd like to see the referee stop it there.
The referee could have probably stepped in just at that time. Still a proud man, and thankfully he's back on his feet now and everything seems fine.
But 1 minute 30 seconds of the 12th and final round. The winner by a knockout, Steve Robinson, the undefeated WBO featherweight champion of the world.
That's great applause there. Nick Karasidis, the supervisor for the WBO from Chicago, will put on the WBO belt again. Proud moment indeed. And well, he's recovering okay now. Heartbroken, no doubt, Paul Hodkinson, but good to see him back in the corner there.
Well, fantastic scenes here in Cardiff. He's proved us all wrong. Once again, a magnificent performance from Steve Robinson. They're still going absolutely balmy about it around me. A runaway victory, who would have thought that? But what a brave challenge from Paul Hodkinson. Steve-O, Steve-O is the chant. We'll be chatting to Steve-O in a couple of minutes. We promised you the fight of the year. We got it. Gary Newbon is with the man who retained his world title here tonight, Steve Robinson.
Steve, an outstanding performance in a brilliant fight.
Oh, it was a very hard fight. He's very strong. I hurt him a few times, but I still felt his punches coming back strong. I thought I could have stopped him early, but he's very strong and very brave.
Did you feel he'd lost something from what you'd known about Hodkinson from the Vargas fight?
I thought, yeah, he could have lost a bit of fitness, you know. So, Ruji, he goes at a high pace at the beginning, like, you know, but towards the end, I had the fitness and strength.
We're going to show you the end because a lot of people, including myself, weren't quite sure just how good you were, and you really did look like a world champion here. It's the first knockdown.
Oh, yeah, I caught my left hook, and I knew I had to follow up again. Yeah, I could have gone for the body, really, but I just kept on. Yeah, that's it, left hook again. Yeah, that's my best punch.
And this is the end. Di Gardner, the manager.
Very proud of the boy. I think he made a mistake taking Steve Robinson after 12 minutes out of the ring. I think they still don't believe Steve is as good as he is, but he's proving now what he is.
Yes, I'd agree with that. Let's ask Barney Eastwood, just on the right here. Barney, should Paul have really come into a fight like this?
Yeah, well, you can see it was a classic. It was a spin of a coin right up to the finish. Who wanted it the most? and I think this boy has improved really something.
What are you going to do with Paul now?
Well, I'll have to talk to him about that, about his future. But this guy deserves all credit, and I think he's the best fighting man in Britain today. He's proved it tonight that he's world class, either WBC, WBA, or whatever.
Okay, well the judges... Sorry.
He's a fighter to be reckoned with.
Okay, well the judges had you 107, 102, 106 and 103. Two of those scores twice. So Duke McKenzie, you will be now meeting Steve Robinson here in Cardiff on May the 14th, and you better be fit.
Well, first of all, Gary, I want to congratulate Steve on a brilliant performance, absolutely flawless. Again, I picked the wrong guy. You know, if you want to make money, back on the guy that I picked, and I backed Hodkinson to win, but Steve just done a number on him.
Well, Frank Warren, the promoter manager, won't want you to have a number done on you. Do you still want this fight?
I'm not Duke's manager, I'm the promoter.
Okay.
Anyway, it'll be a fight's on the 14th, it'll be a great fight again, and we're going to deliver to ITV the best fights as we always do. This will be a superb classic. Duke will be trying for his fourth title, and Steve is going to go on to prove, I think, and hopefully fight and show how great he is. He's a superb fighter, and that was a great performance.
Okay, well done, a super fight, and you really are world champion. Well done.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Indeed he is, Robinson McKenzie. Watch it here in May. Tuesday night, watch the football. Arsenal in the Cup Winners' Cup semi-final against quarter-final. They're hoping to reach the semi against Torino. It's live. It's from Highbury, 7:25 here on ITV on Tuesday. We've seen good wins here for Robbie Regan and for Adrian Dodson as well. Steve Robinson, though, here's the kiddie here in Cardiff. He has proved beyond all doubt he is the real deal. If you're a bookmaker, stand by for a few punters banging on your door on Monday morning. Bye-bye.